Hello YouTube, this is Mr. Zigan, and this is probably one of the first guide videos I'm doing for Elden Ring. So I'm going to be showing you where all merchants are. I have them marked with this before they were actually marked on my map with actual notifications. So I'm going to show you where they are. I'm actually going to go to each area. We're going to start with the center of the map. There's only 3 merchants here. There's one by the shore, one at the church, and then one up here. There are other NPCs that come into this area that you can talk with. There's also like for old finger readers. But let's first start off with the beginning area, the church, and we'll go through each one. I think down this will be section off where they're located. It'll be like trader, and it'll give you a grace point, and then Limgrave. So each area is called different things. That should be sectioned off that way later on when I edit this and put it up. The video should be sectioned up, but first one is Church of Elleh. Right off the start, you come out of the first step, come up here, unmissable, real simple one. I think this is technically the second merchant I found, but he's over here, and I'll buy 5 of those. I'm just buying anything that I can because I maxed out on most stuff. There's a blacksmith table here too, if you haven't been to a round table yet. Next one is down on the beach. The nearest fast travel is the coastal cave. This is actually, I think, the first merchant I found. There will be some farming videos too, showing off different farming spots. But I actually want to show you how you get to them. So, once you get to Coastal Cave, this is where you get the soul nail and how you get over to the dragon cult. I'll show you that next time we play through this. Over here, someone on a horse. Down on the beach is the second merchant. I'll probably just call this the Coastal Cave merchant, because that's the nearest grace. But this is the second one. Yeah, so if they have anything that's just limited, like I said, I'm going to the next playthrough, so I wanted to quickly do a video on this. So that's the second one. The last, actually, there's 4. Sorry, I forgot about one. There's one over here. So the next one we're gonna hit is up here. You'll first meet Alexander here. I believe you first meet one of the other NPCs here, but you can meet him at the round table if you didn't meet him here. We're gonna go to this one. This one is, I believe, if you're traveling over this bridge the first time, this thing has decent health, but if you beat him a couple bosses, this doesn't have a lot of health. If anything, I should probably farm this one for the helmet, because I don't have the helmet yet. I'm also doing this at nighttime, so I can have a chance of running into different area bosses. Wow. Yeah, so over the bridge, and then over here is this merchant. I'll actually look up each area. So, 3 more stones. Okay, and then the next, I think it's the final merchant. I don't see any others that I've marked. I have all of them marked. Is the Nordic merchant. The closest one Closest Grace is Fort High West, or you can go underground and ride the elevator up, but that's a long ride. So it's probably better just to go here, and if the elevator isn't already down there, then it takes even longer. This is going to be a longer video, and this, for the first guide, is definitely going to be a longer video. But some of these, you can, if you want, you can kill all the merchants and get the bells and all bring them all into one place, because they'll drop the bell and you can give it to the twin maidens and buy everything, buy every merchant's items in one place. You can do that. I don't like doing that. I don't like killing these merchants at all. I don't like the idea of doing it. But if you're perfectly fine with it, then just kill them, get the bells, and give it to your twin maidens. This one is off the beaten path a tiny bit. You will find messages on the road pointing you to him. Okay. One last time I'll show you where this is before we move on. It's right here. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the southern island. I think there's only 2 merchants. You're going to see 4 things here. There's a farming spot for this and a farming spot for this. I'm going to be showing you farming spots for different items. Probably 2 before I move on to the second playthrough. Just so if you guys want to farm certain things. Otherwise, let's first move to this. Once you move down the road a tiny bit, you'll come to this. The Castle Morne Rampart. Grace Point. He's right next to it. This one shouldn't be too hard to miss. The other one is by himself in a shack with the Grace right next to it too. I think there's like 24 merchants. 18 to 24 merchants. I think yesterday when I looked it up, I believe I have all merchants marked. But he is just right here off path. You should see his fire. And then, yeah, so he's just right off the path. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go kill that boss real quick. But yeah, we're gonna head to this one next. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. It'd be great if there's a knight down here, because it'd be neat, but I'm guessing they probably wouldn't put a knight down by this merchant, just because there's a walk-in mausoleum down here. I might also do a video on that, mausoleums. I'll walk in mausoleums. Okay, yeah, so there's just a shack down here. This is where you can buy a lantern for your waist. You just put it on your hotbar and equip it. Otherwise, this is also where you get the Zweihander if you want that. Otherwise, I believe those are the only 2 merchants down here. Okay, so that is the beginning area and the south covered. We're gonna cover all the land masses, and then we're gonna start getting to endgame ones. And there's only a few. There's 1 or 2 up in the endgame ones, but then we're gonna cover the underground areas. So if you want to skip past stuff, go right ahead. I believe there's what, 1, 2, 3. Only 3 here. So the first one you're probably going to run into when you're running through this area is you're probably going to run into, if you're following the main path, you're going to probably run into this one first because it's so out in the open, or this one up on the hill if you're running through the dragon area. But let's do the ones that can be missed. So you can either head from this Grace, Caelid, Highway South, there is a boss right here, a decaying dragon. If you want to head north, you can get to the Astray from Caelid Highway North. We're gonna just head over. This merchant sells fire arrows, which I don't think I've visited him in a while, so I can buy some fire arrows. Okay, so we want to head east, and you can actually see it already. Yeah, so he has the poison stones, which I'm not gonna buy. I'll buy in my next playthrough. I'll max out on them. Also, you can buy some bulbuses from him. Otherwise, real quick, show off location again. He's like right here. Just a little bit of this east of this bonfire. We're going to hit the one in the south, and then we're going to hit the one in the north. So the one in the south, the closest grace point is either the Cathedral of the Dragon Communion or the Caelid Highway South. If you do Caelid Highway South, like I said, there's a dragon boss right here. So you have to be careful. The Carian dragon. It can spew scarlet rot at you. So you have to be fairly careful. Apparently there's another Black Knight here that I haven't killed. I will kill him after I show you the merchant. So be careful if you're traveling at nighttime. But the map piece is right here next to him. So you shouldn't have any problem seeing this guy. And he has nothing I really need. Yeah, that's where I got flaming bolts. Okay, otherwise this is where he is. I will be traveling to the north here in a second, this one. I'm just going to quickly kill the knight on my game. Okay, kill the Black Knight. We're heading to the one in the north. This one you have to be very careful that it's not nighttime, because if you haven't been in them, there's going to be there won't be a merchant here, and there will be a knight here waiting to kill you. It will drop a different bell for you, though. This is where you can buy poison arrows. Should need about 98 of them. Otherwise, this is his shop. This is also where you get the samurai outfit. Otherwise, that is the rest of them for Caelid. That is the rest of the merchants. There's only 3 here. I made sure. Okay. If there is any, I'll put it in the correct place. If I look up and there's actually more merchants, I will. But I'm more than certain that's the only merchants there. We're going to head to the lake. So once you beat Godric, or you go around the path to get around it, you can travel down this road or this road, because you can choose either. You will eventually run into this merchant. It's just before you get into the water. He's just right here. Yeah, other than patches and a couple other merchants, there's... Okay, like I said, if you're following the main road, you'll eventually just run into this one. At least I hope you'll see him. But I actually don't know what he sells. Because I haven't been to him in forever. He sells another lantern, so if you didn't get it from the other merchant, real quick, this is where he is. He's south of the lake, and then I believe there's 2 more merchants here. There's one in the academy, so you need the key to get into the academy. The key, if you don't have the key yet, once you go up to this door here, you'll find a note, and it will tell you where the key is. The key is right here. There's a dragon protecting it. It's right behind the dragon. You can get the key to the academy and go in. Once you traverse the fog, you will teleport to this grace point. I'll show a video how to get into the academy when I get into my next playthrough. I know some people will say, oh, you don't have patches and that, but once you're in here, instead of going up the elevator, you can actually go backwards towards these seals. You just go around them. And you want to go down the hill. He's down the hill, partially down here. There are wolves. Let me quickly equip 2 things, which is the one that makes me make no sound, and then the silver one, just in case I get anything. I will say right now, when we get down to the merchant, I'll show you something you have to be careful of. I might as well. Okay, merchant's right here. He actually sells you one of the summonable ashes. He sells you the imps. I'm not buying 8 more of those. Apparently, I never bought a note from him. I'll check that note here later on. He sells the meteor bolts apparently, but if you do want to keep exploring, there is an item down here, down by the gate, but there is also an enemy here. I think it's a one-time spawn only. Nope, apparently not. So just be careful. Actually surprised that I didn't lock on him if he was right above me. Otherwise, just be careful when you run down here. Otherwise, this is the merchant in the academy. He's right here. Actually, we're gonna go check one other merchant. You could call him a merchant or whatever. This one will not drop. As far as I know, he might drop a bell because he is an NPC that has certain items in his inventory. But over here is the Church of Vows. This is another place. If you come here at nighttime, there will be someone that you can kill for a bell. That will be a different video. I show those. Show that off. Yeah, so up here is Pope Turtle. I don't know his actual name. I'll probably put his actual name down below. But we just call him Pope Turtle. Well, Pasture of Vows. Miriel.
You did call him the Pasture of Vows without calling him his actual name.
You can, this is one of the places you can ask for absolution. If you don't know what that is, when you attack an NPC, instead of killing them, if you run away, every time you come back to them, they're gonna be pissed at you. You can just come here and ask for you just ask for atonement. Otherwise, you can go visit him. The last NPC merchant is at the Bellum Church. It's one of the places before Dectum. Say, if you want to skip past, like I said, each section also should be categorized in its own self. Down below. I actually don't know what this merchant is going to sell. A lot of these merchants I've marked once when I first found them and haven't been back to. But when I found them, I did buy everything from them. So I know just recently they went through and gave each merchant some more stuff that you can get from them. But once you're here, you just want to head down the hill and he's going to be right here.
It was being weird and wasn't letting me go up.
Otherwise, this is his location on the map. We have one more. I'll mention a merchant here because he is there when you go there. I will show you how to get to him. He's just not there because eventually he just dies off by a cause. But when you're at the Royal Moongazing Grounds, after you beat the boss here, there is a merchant you can get to. So we're going to go from here and show off this. Once you buy his whole inventory, he'll say sorry about it. But then when you come back later, he'll die in such a way, and you'll get a bell and a couple items off of him. And the bell will contain anything you didn't buy off of him. So I'll quickly show that because I might as well. Patches will be a different video showing off him, his merchant, and all that. If you want to go find him early on in the game, but that'll be a different video. Okay, at the Three Sisters, I want to fall over to the southwest, or mostly south side. Go down to the south tower. Instead of going straight to the tower, over on the edge here, you're gonna see, you can actually see the top of the castle. I think this is what, Castle Morne? No, Caria Castle. Caria Castle, or Manor. But yeah, instead of, you want to drop down to this roof. If you want, you can hop off your horse, but over on this side, you can slowly and safely make your way down. When you get down here, you will hear someone talk a tiny bit, but here's the ladder. Once you come down here, there he is. He's dead. But he will be right here, and you can talk to him, and he'll trade. Otherwise, this is right above the grace. You can't get here other than that drop down point. So he's about right here. Otherwise, we're gonna move on to Volcano Manor. Volcano Manor has a few merchants, but it's like Patches. I think it's Patches and one other guy, but both of them have moved on from this point, so it doesn't matter too much. But Volcano Manor does have some merchants.
Sorry, my brain thought, yeah, and they both passed off from Xavier's world.
Okay, there's one merchant in Volcano Manor, and he's over on a cliff here. I would say the closest grace is either you go from Ninth Mountain Gelmir campsite and you go downwards, or you go from the first Mountain Gelmir campsite. That's where we're gonna go from, just because it'll be easier to show. If you don't have that, head to the Bridge of Inquiry, and if you go a little bit into the area, on the left is gonna be a ladder going up to this grace point. We'll go from here, and I'll show you where the merchant. This is gonna be a little longer segment because there's no grace right next to him. This is where I believe he sells some of the great bow or the cannon projectiles you can use. The hand cannon projectiles. Yeah, this is definitely going to be like a 30-minute video or something, but when you have 20 to 24 merchants. There is if you're to this point in the game, like you just got here, there is a cutscene you can get where there'll be a message following the color stone path, and it will lead you over there. Just follow them to the end to get that cutscene. Otherwise, once you get here, I think there's an enemy guarding this. I don't think it respawns, so it's dead. You want to head up the first ladder. We're gonna have to head up two ladders. So this is the first one, and then the second one is over to the left. The next merchant we'll hit is there's one on the outskirts of the city. And then, yeah, so over here is the ladder you want to climb. That's my message down. Because you could think, oh, I'm going to just go climb the other ladder because this one is taller. Why would I do that? But if you climb the other ladder, you find some enemies and you have to climb a tall ladder again. This one just gets you closer to the top. You're going to have to climb 2 tall ladders anyways. So actually technically 3 in total, but still, this is where he's located. Like I said, I think he sells explosive great bolts and ballistic bolts. These fire from the hand cannon. I could buy 34 and get my max again, but I'm not going to use all my souls just for that, just because some of the merchant might have new stuff for me. So, real quick on the map again, this is where he's located. There's only one... Actually, there is one merchant before we get to the city, before we get to the wall.
You want to see something real special about or how special this guitar is being right now?
What?
Down.
Huh?
Down. Right. Left.
Oh, not up?
I can only go down, left, and right.
Well, that sucks. Okay, so the other merchant you'll run into is when you're going up the highway. If you took the Great Lift of Dekis, which you either have to have both. You have both medallion pieces go up, and you don't have to beat any Elden Lord to use it. I thought you had to beat 2 to use it, but no. Apparently, you just need the 2 pieces. The other way is go down through the lake and you slowly climb up and beat a boss, and then you just run up here. There's a dragon that has a little bit of health before it flees, but eventually you'll hit the highway. North of it you'll eventually come to a crumbling bridge, and he's right on the bridge. He's right next to this grace. A lot of the merchants are like that. They're like right next to the grace point. Some of them are a little bit away. Some are a decent bit away. Like, I think when we start hitting the underground ones, those are the ones that are going to be a little more time consuming to get to. but I'll leave in the full route just so you guys can see where I go. Otherwise, at the Atlas Plateau, he's just right here. I believe the song he's playing is a reference to, it's either Sekiro or Bloodborne. I remember reading something about it being a reference. I don't know which game though. I didn't play either of them, so I wouldn't know. This is his inventory. Otherwise, we'll head to the next merchant. Almost forgot about him. The next merchant is out inside the wall. He's up to the north here. After this, after that merchant, there's no merchant in the city, and there's only one merchant past this lift. There's no merchant up in this portion. There's only one person up by the mountaintop of giants. There's no merchant up in the branches and no merchant at the crumbling Azura. So we have 2 more merchants before we go underground and start showing them off. So we'll go to the Hermit Shack. This is another area where if you come at nighttime, there will be someone waiting for you. Well, not waiting for you because sometimes you have to run around the shack or run in it or run in the area to get to spawn. It's really weird with these. Okay. So, he's right in here. He sells golden arrows. I'll max back out on those. He also sells infinite fleur bloody fingers. He also sells a note now. That's cool. He didn't sell that bit before. Same thing with that other merchant that I bought. If you wonder where those are, real quick, I'll show them off. They're in this section. Each one will tell you a thing. So the previous one. Yeah, so this one just tells you of a secret area. I found that real early. And this one... Actually, there might be a video before this because I did do a guide and never released it. So, otherwise there is one more merchant, and it's really later in the game, which is the Hermit merchant. If you're down here underneath, you can't get to him. The closest bonfire is the Snow Valley Ruins. Be careful if you head this way to this bridge over to him, because there is a boss here for the death route. I think there's also 2 bosses here. There's also a bird here you can run into. This has the tree boss and then a small like enemy guarding that bridge. But we're gonna head from this one. I might actually have to look up where that file of the recording of the other guide is, because I might as well show that off or put that out first, because this will be a little longer edit. Okay, from here we're gonna just head over the bridge next to us. Like I said, there will be a minor tree spirit you'll have to take out here. Sometimes this can follow you. So I'd rather just take it out. Also, actually, that's not the leader. Whatever leader is of that group. Never mind. So he's actually down there. You can see his campfire. If you're far enough in the quest line with the gold mask will be on the bridge here. Over on this side of the mountain. So we need to go a little farther this way and then down. This is a little longer one to get to. But once you start getting to endgame areas, a lot of it is like that. I actually don't know what he sells because I think I've only come to it once or twice. So if he does have anything, I'll buy off of him. I will. Otherwise, he's on the side of the mountain here. Apparently, this is where you get lightning great bolts, which is great to know. I'll keep that in mind when I get to him again in the future. Otherwise, he is right here on the side of the cliff. Like I said, you have to get. It's a longer route to get to him. Otherwise, that takes care of every merchant up top, other than Patches and Volcano Manor. There is a merchant that can appear in the shack right here during the daytime, but once Volcano Manor is reached, he moves there. So, okay, now we're gonna go underground. There is, I think, 4 merchants down here. Give me a second. One here. One in the Ansel River. There's one here. There's none in the Deep Roof Depths. Actually, there's only 3. There's one in Nakram, and then one in the Lord Bloods area. We're gonna quickly get the Anzai River done. So to get down to this point, over here, over on the lake hand side, is the Anzai River well. There is a giant protectant. Once the giant's dead, then you can go in the river well. It will lead you right here. There's only one way to go. You work your way down the river. There will be a mini boss here with the merchant, or merchant is in the cave. You keep working your way down, and then there will be a boss right here. But we're gonna actually travel from this grace point. I'll just show you where he is in the area. I've already defeated the mini boss. Mini boss is one of the one-time spawns. He will launch gravity spells at you when you're in the area, so be careful. And you can either shoot him with a bow or magic from far away, or there is a way to get up to him through a side passage. So, okay, from this grace point, if we head back, you can actually jump up the rocks here and just go straight to him. The boss is going to be up there shooting stuff at you. If you want to defeat him, come back to this section and go down this river, and you can climb the structures to get up on the wall and slowly get up to him to defeat him, if you want to defeat him that way. Otherwise, the merchant is just right down here. I have no clue what he sells because I haven't been to him since I cleared this area, and that was at least 50-60 hours ago in this playthrough. Oh, he sells the prisoner set. Otherwise, next one we're gonna head to is before we do the Lord Blood area, because that one's easily missed. This one is also easily missed, but we're gonna head from this grace point. It's about halfway through the area. But to get to this, over by the tree in the beginning area is the Sofra River Row. When you go down it, you'll end up down here, and you'll have to go through the area, take an elevator up, and then I think you go through one more area, and you go one more elevator up, and you end up in this lake area, this bottom portion. The top portion you don't get to until later on in the quest line, later after you beat one main boss. After you beat Radahn, I think it is. You can get into this area finally. But we're gonna head to him. We're gonna go from the Worshipper's Wood Grace Point. This will take a tiny bit to get to. But like I said, once you start getting to these end game merchants, they do take a while to get to. So I wouldn't even consider this endgame. This one is not endgame. You can get to pretty early game, but still, you're gonna have to kill a few things. So be ready for that. In the middle here, you're gonna see the scaffolding on this pillar. You're gonna have to climb up that scaffolding. Also, I'm gonna ask the question because someone might know. Do you guys know if the bow off the Minotaurs can drop? Because it's one of the weapons I've been trying to get, but it hasn't dropped once yet. So I've been figuring it doesn't drop. But you basically want to just climb this. We should have no problem killing these because they do not have a lot of health. If we can just sneak up there and backstab them, I'll rather do that. I think there might be one more up here. Actually, there might not be. It's hard to remember. No, so there's not one more. So you just keep following this path. I will say be careful with this one, because in this cave where they're located, you can see a hole in the wall over there. If you go too close to the hole in the wall, the plant will see you and start doing lasers down on you, and they can hit the merchant. So be very careful with this. If you want to kill the plant first, go right ahead and then come back around. Perfectly fine with that. Otherwise, he sells dwelling arrows. He sells 9 of them. I think one of the other merchants might sell infinite amount of them. I didn't buy the shuttle from him. I might as well buy the 9. Okay. Then it must be the Lord Blood guy that sells the other one. So the Lord of Blood, that area is going to be in a video coming out in a day or two. Because when I hit new playthrough, that's going to be one of my first main things, is get a guide on how to get to the Lord of Blood's area. Or early game. You don't need to be a new playthrough. I just did it really early in my playthrough and could record it. So, the Lord of Blood area. Once you teleport into it here, if you use the medallion, you'll teleport here. If you don't, you'll teleport up here. And you have to work your way around. Be really careful if you head down in this area, if there's an NPC invader. Otherwise, we're going to head from the Dynasty Mausoleum entrance. He's actually really close to the beginning. I think he's playing an instrument, so you might be able to hear him. I was just running through this area, not killing anything. Because any of these enemies that you kill here, they can blow up and cause blood mist to spawn. So you have to be very careful.
Oh.
yeah, they do that. So apparently they drop blood roses. That's good to know, actually. Also, some of them will just charge you, so be very careful. I just want to kill a few more before we move on. Okay, so run past them. If you want, you can go through and kill them all. Go right ahead. There are some items to pick up, but like I said, you don't really need to kill them. This slime, you can actually get around too. Just jump around the gravestones. I looked over at the recording capture. Okay. If you run through this whole place, there will be another grace point. We're actually going to summon in a person to help me. Because there's a like mini boss that camp here. Also, if you have the lantern, this is a good area to equip it in. But you want to come up this hill. The first like blood mini boss guy will spawn right here. Where he spawns on the side route is where the merchant is. God, he could do that. Thank God I had that thing on. Otherwise, this is where the merchant is. You can buy... Okay, so he sells the dwelling arrows. He also sells buried bolts. If you want to make your own blood arrows, you want to buy blood roses because that's where you can get them. Otherwise, what we're here for, since this is the last merchant, is to max those out and then buy some more blood roses. Otherwise, I will show you where the next grace is if you want to get it. Otherwise, I believe that is all merchants. So that was what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because there's 4 here. Yeah. 11, 12. 13. 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 merchants plus the Pope Turtle. And the merchant that, like I said, he dies if you go far enough in Randy's questline. I believe he just dies. Otherwise, that is all the merchants. These are all the ones I know of. Like I said, I believe I looked it up, and I don't think there's any others. I'm gonna quickly check, but when I am checking, I will do an outro to this. Sorry about this video being so long, but there's a lot of me just showing where stuff is, showing inventory, and just explaining different stuff. So I knew this was gonna be a longer video to do, but I really want to do more of an in-depth video on the merchants. Otherwise, this is like I said, if you want, you can kill all the merchants and just grab their bells, and then just have them. You give them to the maiden. Let me just check. Okay, Caelid is good. We showed them all. The sorcerer merchant doesn't really matter. Gatekeeper Gothic you will find if you're just playing. I can show that real quick. Where Gatekeeper Gotrick is, just in case you want to know where he is in your playthrough. There's also the crab merchant, but I don't have him technically alive in my playthrough because he dies eventually to a different NPC. Otherwise, I'm quickly checking underground. Okay, yeah. So I've shown off all merchants known about. Like I said, there's probably no other merchants across the map. I'm gonna quickly show you Gostoc. What the hell is his name? He's not alive in my playthrough because I didn't think he would move anymore, and then they patched in his quest line where he actually moves. You don't need him alive to for him to sell. Don't need him alive to move the quest line on for 2 others. Gostoc, Gatekeeper Gostoc. So, real quick, we'll do that last one. Otherwise, I really hope you guys did enjoy. When you pass the first boss here, Margaret, the Fallen Order. When you get to the Stormveil main gate, he's gonna be here. He will either tell you you can take the side route that he keeps saying, or he will say, "Don't go through main gate. That is gonna be too risky." You can tell him to open main gate. If you tell him to open the main gate, he then becomes a store, I believe, where he can sell items to you. I'm just going to show you his location. Where he can be. He'll be right here to the left. Once you open up the gate, he's going to be right here. Once you open up the gate, he becomes a store. He can sell his stuff. After Godric is defeated, he'll be here, stopping on the corpse of Godric. He won't move from this place until you get Nelefeli, Luex, and Kenneth's questline to their conclusion, and they'll all move here, and you can buy from him there. But where I was, these guys didn't have a questline ending, and I thought maybe he didn't move any farther, so I killed him and got his spell. Otherwise, other than that, I really hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys like the video, give it a like. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, I recommend subscribing to the channel to keep up with all the content. Otherwise, it's been Mr. Ziggin signing off. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good night. Wherever you are, just have a good day. Hopefully I see you guys next video. And peace.